So, some time back, this great American writer, Stephen Wright, had said, I have a large seashell collection which is scattered all over the world. Have you seen it? When you see kids play, especially when they're collecting seashells, they do it with so much of focus and so much of concentration. Why do kids play with seashells? It's a form of a toy. It's so simple, so easy to find, and it's self-earned. Kids can play with anything. The point I'm trying to make is, anything that you get, anything you shake a pen, you do anything, it becomes a toy. It's a distraction from your mind. I did a little research about prehistoric toys and how did toys come into being and all of that. But more importantly, what I noticed is that the theme of playing has been consistent. We play kitchen as kids, and we used to imagine ourselves being somebody else and then being doctor and all of that. Honestly, like even 8,000 years ago, maybe not doctor, but they've been playing that, they've been role-playing and imagining themselves to be something, especially kids. And that's been going on for centuries together. Toys are like people's best friends. And really, like even I don't know how many of y'all have seen this movie Castaway, but in that Tom Hanks makes his soccer ball into his best friend. As simple as that. Now when children don't get toys, they really and seriously lack something very significant in their lives. What is even worse is that if they see other kids with toys and they don't have any, then it creates a lot of jealousy. Jealousy is a very lousy thing. It gives birth to a lot of negative ideas, negative energies, and criminal ideas, really. About Toy Bank, about my special toys, this is some of them. I started Toy Bank like 6 years ago, 2004. After I finished my engineering, I just decided to take off. I didn't find meaning in what I was doing for the last 4 years. So I just kind of volunteered with different NGOs. I took a survey and figured out what's the scene really, what's happening with these kids. And this whole stamp of being an engineer, they made me teach these kids maths and science and all of that. And sadly, whenever I used to go to these NGOs, and especially one particular NGO was a boys' home, the kids were never happy to see me. I'm like, what the hell, yeah? Like, I'm going to teach them, and it's so much of fun, but none of them would really even bother to look up at me and just take out their books and start, okay, another teacher coming and teach me maths. So then I just stopped. After a couple of days of doing this, I took permission from the authorities. I said, I don't want to teach them. Let me do something else. I took a survey of the NGO, and I figured they had playtime, but nothing to really play with. They had some, like a broken bat and some rough ball, and like they were making do with simple things. And I just started playing with them, land and water, cricket, football. For the next couple of weeks, I took different genres of music, and I taught them what is rock, what is classical music. I showed them pictures. It was a different thing that I was trying to do with them, and the kids came through beautifully. That's when I figured that they were not really orphans. That's what I had. It was a misconception. The kids had run away from homes, various places in India, for different reasons. And that's when I realized the importance that a simple toy can have in a child's psyche. So Toy Bank started 6 years ago. We've reached out to over 10,000 kids. It exists in 4 different cities in India. We've also reached out toys to kids in Bhutan, and there have been tremendous impacts of Toy Bank. Talking about that, it's also as a part of our constitution, child rights, the right to play, the right to leisure is a part of our constitution. One of those distributions, we've had hundreds of them. In one of those distributions, like a lot of our volunteers interact with the kids, and kids come through and talk and tell us their stories. So one of the kids came up and said, mujhe bade bankar policeman banna. I want to be a cop when I grow up. I want to, eradicate all the evils and bad elements in the society. Thought it was pretty inspiring. So we gave the kid a toy gun. The kid happily went back. The next kid that came forward just looked me straight in the eye and said, I want a gun. It kind of shook me, so I'm like, why do you want a gun? Before I could even finish my sentence, the kid says, mujhe bade bankar gunda banna hai. I want to be a gangster. And how do you react? Like, I was shocked. I was really shocked. That's when I realized that I completely took it for granted that toys can bring happiness and joy in the lives of kids, but actually a toy can impact a child's psyche beyond what we can even imagine. So Toy Bank completely revamped its structure, and we did away with toys that promote violence, no guns, no swords, no toys with sharp edges, and all of that. And what we realized soon in our work is a simple toy really impacted the kids. They became less abusive. The anger went down. The anger levels went down. They started respecting themselves even more. And what was most important is they didn't feel abandoned and neglected. They felt wanted and that they could do something with their lives. There was hope and opportunity for that. Many times, I've asked many questions. I think in Anand's speech also he's mentioned it. Things like, what do I want to do with my life? Where do I go? What is my purpose? Why am I even doing this? I'm sure all of us have questioned this many times. I've thought about this on and on and on, like for the last so many years, but I'm done with that. Like, I'm done with questioning and redefining and restructuring and creating fresh goals and all of that. It's just a waste of time. I'm going by the thought that we've just got to do. Just do. I tell myself, just do. How much do we think? How much are we going to break down, dissect, and think and debate and have chais and have coffees and waste our time doing so much of nonsense when it's actually time for us to do? We have the ideas. Ideas are infinite out there, but we just don't take time to do it. And a very simple philosophy that I follow is just this Chinese proverb, it's better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. It's as simple as that. Once long back, somebody asked Pablo Picasso, seen the painting and said that, this looks like a scribbling of a 3-year-old, what is this? And to this, the great painter acknowledged and he said, exactly, but it took me 70 years to paint like a 3-year-old. That's like, seriously, that's like the child in us is right there, but it takes us like so many years to realize that. Kids have unadulterated creativity and curiosity. And I believe, and this is like I practice this every day, I believe that the child in me is alive. With all its foolishness, idiocies, stupidities, ignorance is bliss, let me be me, let me not pretend to be somebody else. But what bothers me is that, some of us tend to go back to a child and we imagine, I wish I could become a child, yeah. No money, I don't have to bother about premiums and bank balance and kal idhar jana hai, I have to go here and I have to go to this bank, and none of that tension. But if we look at children today, we're even taking away the childhood from them. I think they're even more stressed than all of us with so many things that we make them do. Classes and God knows what. It's as simple as fun. Have fun in your life. Enjoy your life and take it easy. There's this really funny saying I had read yesterday. Ask not what fun does for you. Ask what you can do for fun. So much for John F. Kennedy. Anyway, but child labor, as we know, is rampant. Child warriors, exploited beggars, juvenile criminals at the age of 15, 14, 10, 8. I've seen them in juvenile homes. For really no crime of theirs, they're kids. But I believe these are the results of like greedy, cruel adults who just take innocent kids for granted. My dream is to make every child a child. Just pure, just be happy, have fun, enjoy yourself. That's my dream. That's one day I want to see a world where every kid is happy. Opportunities to give, that's one child that we've reached out to who got toys from Toy Bank. Opportunities to give are really everywhere around us. If someone somewhere can use a kind word today, it's really how we see that and how we practice that in our lives. I'd like to end my little talk about this guy who's talking to his friend, and he was telling him, my God, yeah, everybody thinks I'm a miser. I mean, everybody knows I'm going to collect all my money and after I'm dead, it's all going to go to charity. Why am I a miser then? His friend told him the story of a pig and a cow. The pig was lamenting to a cow one day, saying, Mr. Cow, you're so popular, yeah. Everybody talks about your kindness and gentleness and all of that. But I know you give milk and cream and all that, but I give bacon, I give ham. They even pickle my feet. But still I'm so unpopular, yeah. What is this? So the cow thought a little bit. And he said, well, maybe it's because I'm giving while I'm still living. That's the difference. Thank you. All I'm trying to say that is it will cost us some time. It will probably make us get out of our comfort zones and, but sacrificing some of our basic things. But the rewards of giving are infinite. They're priceless. When we give, we reap the joy of giving, of sharing, of caring, laughing, and the joys that are manifold. I'd like to end by saying one simple line. Instead of getting and forgetting, let's give and forgive. Thank you.